Guys, today I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna talk about the Preachers of Atlanta episode 4. I know I'm late. I do. But bear with me. I don't have no notes. So we just gonna talk about the stories that happened on the show. First, we can talk about what made what they all three to me stories were major because they happen in our community a lot. Um but we could talk about Pastor Leandria first, since it kind of started with her. It started with her and her husband. They were at lunch, I guess, and they were talking about the young man that they helped last week or whatever. So her husband has this idea. I don't know why he had this idea to have another baby. So she looking at him like, huh? I pushed out 4 kids already. And you want to have another one, and you got a possible that you don't even know it's yours. Like, where they do that at? That's kind of how she was looking at him. But he just, I don't know why, what his mindset is. He's saying, can you close this for me? He, he has this mindset that, oh, I guess you only live once and you got to live in the moment. And I'm like, the moment is to take care of your responsibilities as a man with that other child. The moment is to get a job, but we'll get into that because I'm like, the moment when you don't even take care of your responsibilities as a man, I'm not here with that one. But she not really feeling this idea, so she wants to go talk to Pastor Kim about the situation. And I like how Pastor Kim kept it real with her. You know, they talked about Pastor Kim's sons being in the church, yada yada yada. Okay. But then when they talked about, she told her about the kids. Pastor Kim like, why? Y'all have almost a football team. Where's his mind at that he wants another baby? And Leandra don't know why this dude wants another baby. Maybe, and I'm sitting there like, maybe it's to keep you around and keep the money flowing around. I don't know, because I don't understand his thought processes of having another baby when you already guys have people living in your house. Y'all got 4 kids total in the house. I just don't understand that process, and I think men don't understand. I think men have this thing of making the baby that they want to do, but having that baby, they don't really be invested in that whole process. I don't care if he live with you or not. So I don't understand, because like, to me, women have to go through so much of the pregnancy. So I don't understand why men want women to have multiple fucking kids. Like, was all her pregnancy smooth sailing? Because I know all 4 of mine wasn't. So I will look at my dude like, bitch, where? If he came to me to have a 5th child, fuck that. No, I've had C-sections. I've had natural birth. I don't want to try nothing else. I don't want to have no water births. I don't. So it irritates me when men ask women for babies when they have multiple babies already. Nigga, you don't have to go through the birthing process. I don't understand that part. Anyway, so I like how Pastor Kim was letting her know, like, you need to talk to your husband because she really don't want to do it. But hey, they also talked about she wanted to know, how did Pastor Kim do everything, be a mom, a wife, and pastor, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm with Mike B. If y'all not watching my cousin channel, I don't know where you at, but you better. You've been doing this. Why are you asking this woman how do she do it? Or because it ain't like you got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. But anyway, with that whole baby situation, I think she did end up having a baby for him anyway. So I don't know why I'll be talking about that. But anyway, she goes and talked to her husband at the park, and she mad he took her to the park and she had on Air Force Ones. This is the most materialistic ass pastor. I just don't understand. Now, I understand you don't want to dirty up your Air Force Ones, but the way she just comes off, it's like so materialistic. And girl, he trying to take you for a walk. Be fucking happy with that. I'm sorry about the cussing, but hell, if you watch my channel, you know I cuss. I just was irritated. But anyway, she tells him she don't want to have a baby. He don't understand. He over there like, or are we postponing, or are we just wiping it off the table? And I'm like, okay, I can understand the postponing part too. At least you get a job. But y'all marriage ain't stable enough to even want to have another baby. Y'all marriage is not stable whatsoever. So that was that with that. Then she tells them that she wants to go see a counselor. He don't really want to go see a counselor. I'm so tired of black people thinking that it's a bad thing to go see a damn counselor. If your marriage is in trouble, if your family is in trouble, if your life is in trouble, stop listening to people saying that this is only things white people do. Fuck that. I'll get to that, but I just felt like I'm tired of black people thinking going to a therapist is wrong. No, it saves lives. So they go to Dr. Sherry. If you don't know who Dr. Sherry is, she is all on the Braxton's Family Values. She has been on Married to Medicine, I think it is. Hell, she's been on some reality shows. But I know for damn sure she's been on the Braxton Family Values and stuff like that, helping and not helping the sisters. I'm just saying. But with this couple, she was giving sound advice. But their whole thing was to talk about this baby. And to talk about him not having a job. And this is how I am. I was always taught a man that don't work, don't eat. I'm sorry. Now, I do understand, like, if you guys are together and he falls on hard times, then he don't have a job, okay. But at the same time, he should always be looking for a job. I'm just that grew up that way as far as men not fucking working. I don't care if it's you don't have no kids, you ain't got no woman. I just don't think men should be content with not working at all. Period, point blank. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care if you're a pastor. I don't care if you a person that's doing rap. You should still have something to fall back on as far as a paycheck and some insurance and a 401k. But when you have a wife and you feel like you shouldn't have to do a 9 to 5, and your wife keeps saying how she's taking care of everything, I have a problem with that. But she was I don't know what they were talking about. I think they were talking about the baby, but then she did kind of throw him under the bus as far as a financial situation, because we didn't know that part as far as him not having a job and him saying he don't want to have a 9 to 5. He tried to shut her up, but I was like, you guys are in counseling. This is some things that need to be ironed out, because apparently she has an issue with you not working. She might not have been saying anything, but now that y'all got into the doctor's office and it's free for all and you can say what you want because there's someone there to mediate, there has been an issue with these finances. So he needs to really, before he think about getting a baby in order, he needs to really work on that, because I don't understand this process. Is maybe because he's feeling like, oh, she's a singer, she's gonna make the money, and I travel with her and I'm making sure she's straight. I just really don't get the thought process of men not working, but whatever. So then they start talking about the baby, and she was saying how, they were married. They've been married for 2 years. The baby is like 3, and so this happened before them or whatever. So Leandria's whole thing is, we need to figure this out. We really need to figure this out ASAP, because she wants to, be able to vibe with the baby mama and the kids deal with each other. She's trying to do it the right way. He's trying to run from his problems, and I don't understand why, because y'all put pastor on his name when you guys first introduced him. I don't know if they be putting that now, because I don't pay attention. But when they first introduced this guy, they said pastor. And I don't know too many pastors is running away from their responsibilities or thinking it's okay to run away from your responsibilities when you guys have a flock. I just have a problem with him saying, well, I didn't think, I would be in this position where, the parents wouldn't be in the same home. And I'm like, well, you knew you was fucking somebody and you wasn't married to him. I don't care if he was probably in a relationship with the woman prior. You wasn't married to her. So it was a possibility of you guys breaking up and her being a mother over here and you father over here. If you hitting that bareback, like, come on. So now that you got her pregnant, now you don't know if you want to step up to the plate of your responsibilities. The way he was just talking, I was like, a teenager talk like this. Not a grown man that's supposed to be a pastor. Do not talk and give these excuses of why he didn't step up in this child's life. Okay, and if you didn't at first, this baby is 3. Then he's saying, oh, well, I did my part. It's up to the mother to take the child. You can get court orders for this, sir. Because I'm quite sure they're taking child support or whatever. That's probably how you find, well, that ain't how you find out. But I'm quite sure if this lady sends your child, they're taking child support out of, well, he ain't got no job. My bad. But I just don't understand the situation of him saying, I did my job, now let me just wait on her to do hers. That shows you not even trying. And to me, that shows me that you're not really ready to step up to be this little girl's father, and I have a problem with that. I wouldn't let him off the hook as easy. Oh, I never heard him talk like this, so now I see where he coming from. I hear him talking like this and I still don't see where the fuck he coming from. Because it's not like this baby is 3 months old. This baby is 3 years old. I'm not giving him no excuses of him not taking care of his child or he didn't know how to handle it. Nah, fuck all that. And whoever gives him an excuse for this shit, I just don't understand. You must not have kids to let him get away with this shit. Moving on from them because they irritate me. They irritate me when they were talking. They were in the park talking, and when they were talking about animals or whatever, the difference of animals. I think it was like on the commercial break, and she was talking about he was talking about a lioness and a lion and all that kind of stuff and an eagle, and she was like an eagle only they mate with a woman, but they don't mate with different women. And I was like, well, so you saying he cheated on you? Is that what you're saying? Because this baby was before you. So are you saying he been cheating on you? Because I caught that. I caught that. Moving on, because like I said, they irritate me. Pastor Corey and his situation. At the beginning of everything, they were always preaching about kind of what the show was going to be about. So Pastor Corey was preaching about how he was a child and had to deal with his mom being abused. He said how him and his sister would be upstairs and a guy would be beating his mom up downstairs and he would be scared to go downstairs because, some dudes take it out on the kids. He also said how him and his mom was riding in a car with one of her dudes and the dudes made his mom perform oral sex on him or whatever. Why he was in the car. First the mom said no, but then he pulled a gun out on Pastor Corey, so the mom didn't have no choice. I felt so bad for him. My heart broke for him. And we got to this point because he was talking about letting go of your past at the beginning. Then his wife suggested that he go see a counselor. So then he ended up going to see a little therapist or whatever, and the therapist was asking him about him, and he was saying how he's a pastor and he's also a cop, and he was like, wait, I ain't never heard that before. It's a lot of people say they ain't never heard that before. And he was saying how, when you're a cop, it's because you try to fix things because of stuff that happened in your childhood. And that's when Pastor Corey was letting him know about his mom and her abusive situation and how he always just wanted to protect and how he wanted to fix things and protect his mom. And that in them situations, it hurt him because he couldn't help his mom. He couldn't, defend for her and all that kind of stuff. And that's hurtful for a child. It's very hurtful for a child to have to go through watching your parent go through that. And I'm so glad that he didn't grow up with the mentality to hate his mom, because it's a lot of kids grow up and they hate their parents because they be like, you stayed in that situation. It was your choice to make us stay in that situation. So a lot of kids blame their parents. But I'm kind of glad that he didn't. He held a lot of stuff in, and I like how the therapist was saying how, it kills you faster when you don't let things out than holding them in and not saying anything. So, it was, like I said, I really enjoyed this show because it was a lot that goes on in our communities that people don't talk about. And so he encouraged him to go talk to his mom. And I thought the conversation was gonna go left, especially when we kept seeing like the previews for this episode. I thought it was gonna go left because the mom, when he brought it up to his mom was like, "I didn't know you felt like that. Why you just now saying something now?" And like I said, they didn't know how to address it. And being a kid, like you said, he loved his mom, and he didn't want to go against his mom and argue with her and stuff like that. And he didn't know how to protect her. And she, on the other hand, being the victim of the situation, she was saying how she didn't say anything because she didn't want nobody going to jail for killing the dude. So she took all of that because she didn't want to go tell her peoples, and her peoples go kill the dude, then they in jail, and then a lot of people probably would blame her, or so she just took that. And to even hear that broke my heart. To hear how women will endure the pain so they family members don't go fuck up somebody. They would endure the pain so they kids don't suffer from it. But even though they are suffering mentally, you know what I'm saying, letting your kid whoop his ass when they teenagers or whatever, but mentally they still struggling. So like, and this happens all the time. And I don't know in no other races, but it happens all the time in the black community. I know a lot of my cousins that they see their parents fighting. So I always vowed that that wouldn't happen to me. And I've never, thank God, knock on wood and floors and all that kind of stuff, that it will never happen to me. First of all, I don't know how my mind will react to that situation a bit. But I'm just grateful, by the grace of God, that I never had to go through that situation that I almost had. Because I always tell y'all women that it's warning signs to that shit. So this one guy, he ended up getting loud with me before and grabbed my wrist. And I got off that situation so quick because I kept saying, if you'll grab my wrist, no telling what else you would do to me. So I never wanted that around my kids. So even when I go to my family's functions and I see my family arguing, I leave. When I see my uncles and aunties getting into it and I know how the fuck it's gonna fit go left, I leave because I don't want my kids to see them type of situations. If I see my son talking to a girl a certain way, I stop and correct that real quick because I don't want, him to have to go through that, or him, it just bothers me. And like I said, she was trying to protect her kids, and her kids were hurt because they couldn't protect her. And it's a sad situation all the way around. And I'm glad how he even told his mom, like, I love you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be the man that I am now. And they cried together, and you can tell that he loves his mom and she loves him. And I really like Pastor Corey. Of all the pastors on here, I really like him. Then you had Pastor, I ain't calling him no pastor. Well, this episode maybe he might have got it back. No, fuck that. He's still Canton Jones. So Canton Jones, his storyline was of absentee fathers. And like I said, in our community, we go through that too. By the grace of God, I don't go through that. But I do know how it feel. My father wasn't in the home, but he was in my life until he passed away when I was, of age or whatever. So, I know how I feel. And I still know how I feel being a grown ass woman without a father, and know how it affects me of missing my father. But luckily, I had the love before he passed away to know better from other guys. So I don't deal with a lot of shit because I'd be like, my dad didn't treat me like that. No man will. So I understand the importance of having a father. That's why I say you have to choose wisely of who you're sleeping with, women and men. You have to choose wisely because I'm telling you, by the grace of God, I made some very, very good decisions when it comes to my kids' fathers, because I have two of them and they both take care of their kids with no problem. They all both teach their kids the way they should go with no problem. So I'm grateful for that. But I got cousins. I got nieces and nephews, you know what I'm saying, that their fathers are not in their life, so I do understand. So his whole thing was he had a service and he was having people stand up and talk about their situations of not having the father in their life and how it affected them and stuff like that. Now, what I will say is, because I'm a firm believer of when you get a certain age, you can't keep blaming things on your parents. So when you get a certain age, you can't, the things that you do, you can't be like, oh, because I didn't have a father or a mother in the home. No, your ass is old enough and you wouldn't learn from some teachers, some preachers, some people in your life to know what shit to do and what shit not to do. So a lot of things that Antonio was saying, I got, but then I was like, boo boo, back that up. You made those decisions. So it was a young man, I think his name was Bryce, they was having rehearsal and his uncle had died 2 days prior and that was his father figure in his life. So he was dealing with that. And I like how Canton had everybody come around him and pray around him and stuff like that. So that was cool. They also talked about his uncle being there when his real father passed away. So then that gave Canton to ask Antonio about his father. So he was like, I've left him these messages, I did this, I did that, and he never, is returning my calls. So Canton was just basically letting him know, like, you need to reach out to your father. You never want to have that situation where you can't say goodbye, you can't say what you needed to say, or whatever. Even and Antonio want that, but Antonio, I feel like, ain't taking some of the blame for his actions. So they had this concert, because he wanted to put rap back into the church. So they having this concert, and his dad ended up coming. So he took him outside to talk to him, and I was like, this is weird. I don't think the dad was prepared for this talk, but hey, he was down with it, and Antonio was just asking him like, why did you walk away from me? Why you wasn't there? I did 7 hard years, and I'm sitting there like, you did 7 hard years for the decisions you did. He was saying that it was because he didn't have a father in the home, whatever. He said he had a half of a father, that the father was there, but then he wasn't there, or he was there when he did good, but wasn't there when no, he was there when he was doing bad, but wasn't there when he was doing good and stuff like that. So I understand that too. That's why I always say you gotta praise your kids through good, bad, or indifferent, and you gotta love on them good, bad, or indifferent, because you never know which way your child is taking the love that you think you're giving them. So apparently he didn't think his dad was there the way he wanted him to be. So that caused him to go out in the streets and do certain things. But I'm like, baby boy, please take accountability that you did whatever you did to get them 7 years. And like his daddy said, his ass was being so bad shit. His daddy didn't know what to do. And like I guess they was cool. And when you do that, his dad lost his friend. He lost the person that he was cool with because his son wanted to make dumbass decisions. Like I said, I'm not giving Antonio a pass for what he have done. Because you had a father that was there that taught you right and wrong, and you still chose, oh, he ain't here probably to get on my ass, so I'm going to go out here and fuck up. Because that's what a lot of kids do, especially that have parents in the home. You be like, and then once the parents leave, you be like, oh, well, he ain't here to get on me, so I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do what I want to do. And then when you do some bullshit and get caught for it, and then you want to blame the parent for not being there. I don't know that's Antonio's story, but I'm just saying it does happen. So I try to just think outside the box of scenarios that could have happened. I do like how his daddy apologized. His daddy was like, I was going through my own stuff. I didn't know how to deal with a lot of things, so I apologize. Can we move forward? And that's all you can do. And I'm hoping that they move forward that day and didn't go back, or every time they get in front of each other, they bring it up, oh shit. If you're going to say we're going to move forward. I'm just saying. But they end up going to perform. Okay. He talked to Canton afterwards. Canton was happy that his daddy was there. Okay. That was all that happened on the episode. Y'all tell me what y'all thought of Preachers of Atlanta season 1 episode 4. I really appreciate this show. I really like this show. And I'm not down with changing a lot of things traditional in the church, but I do agree with, you do have to evolve and try to look at certain things to get kids in the church. I do get that part, but I'm not with the whole taking all the traditional stuff out the church. But I like how they have really good stories to tell, especially in the Black community. We have to address a lot of these stories, so I appreciate that part of the show. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Follow me on all social media by The Ghetto View, THA, not THE, and I will talk to y'all in the next video. Peace.